Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, the Book Prize Addict, and I'm here to talk about another great book prize today, the Book Critics Circle Award, which was the lists of them, nomination lists were put out this week, and it is quickly becoming one of my favorite prizes, book prizes, American anyway, on the American side of the ocean. I talked a little bit about it in my last video, which I'll put a link to as I was awaiting it coming out. And it's from the Book Critics Association. This is book critics of all different types, freelance, whatever, and at all stages of their career. And I had said previously it had a membership of 600, but now I see they're a voting membership of 1,000, so it's grown. I'm also linking their website, which is much better since they've put out this list. They updated their website nicely, so you can see yourself. Now there are 6 different categories: fiction, nonfiction, poetry, criticism, biography, and autobiography. So I probably will go through all these, because to know all these, you really kind of get a feel for all the best that's, or in some people's opinion, the best that's been put out in the last year. And I also have plans to go to the award ceremony. It's in New York City. There's actually two nights of events, March 14th and 15th. On the 14th, they're having readings from the authors on the different lists. And on the 15th is the prize ceremony, and it's free to go to. You can find out information on their website, and if you're around New York City, I'd love to see some of you there. I'm going to incorporate it into a trip to maybe some other bookish places during that time, so stay tuned on that. So meanwhile, I'm going to try to go through one by one the different categories. Now I have a literary helper with this. My husband reads only nonfiction, and quite a bit of it, so he's going to do some of the nonfiction and biography categories and report to me about them. I doubt that he'll make his own videos, but he'll give me the info for those, and I'll be covering the poetry novel, and today I'm going to do the criticism essay part of it, which has some really interesting books in it. Okay, first of all, when I was here earlier this week, I talked about the kind of pre-prize award that they give, the Book Critics Circle gives for the best debut in any genre, and I'll link that there. But I went through I think 5 or 6 that they had up in poetry, short stories, all kind of different genres, and they announced the winner of that one as they were giving out the nominations for their main prizes, and the winner was Her Body and Other Parties, which many of you responded that you had read that and liked it, and I think a lot of people are getting into it. It was also on the American or National Book Award list. So anyway, okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the 5 works that are up for literary criticism, not literary criticism, criticism as in essays, long essays on different parts of our culture. There's really some interesting ones on them, so I'll quickly go through those. The first one is called You Play the Girl on Playboy Bunnies, Stepford Wives, Train Wrecks, and Other Mixed Messages. That the title pretty much explains that one. Anyway, it's by Karina Shukano, and she is a experienced magazine writer and was on the long list for the PEN Award for the Art of the Essay. I guess maybe she did that and then made it into this book, which is in the case of several of them I'll be talking about. Anyway, this book explores how culture shapes ideas about who women are and where they belong, and one of the critics called it very smart and funny. Okay, next we have The Art of Death, Writing the Final Story. This is by Edwidge Donnachon, who is a well-known novelist. She was born in Haiti and came to the U.S. when she was 12 years old. And her debut novel was called Breath, Eyes, Memory. Won quite a bit of applause from people and some different debut awards. And it actually sort of a autobiographical one, in that she talks about in it a girl that comes from Haiti and actually goes back and it includes some of the culture thereof, and it was quite popular, as was her short story book of short stories called Crick Crack, which was talked about just somewhere in BookTube just the other day. And it was nominated for the National Book Award, and at the time she was the youngest author that had ever gotten this nomination. This book is an account of her mother's as she dies from cancer, and it has a lot of references to other literary works and authors who have written on death. And that sounds like it would be quite interesting to me. Okay, next we have Guidebook to Relative Strangers. Journeys, the rest of the title, these all have long titles. Journeys into Race, Motherhood, and History by Camille Dungy. She has 4 poetry collections out, and this is her debut essay collection. She has worked as a poet lecturer, where she had to travel the country a lot, crisscross, and she had a daughter during this time, and ended up taking what was then her baby daughter and then her toddler daughter with her as she traveled across the country giving lectures. And this book is, I think, kind of some of the experiences she had while doing national and international travel with an infant. Okay, and this one is Tell Me How It Ends, an essay in 40 questions by Valeria Lucella. Now, if you happen to watch Sean the Book Maniac, he did a video famous for his bales. He included this one on his bales last night, but I don't think he really hated the book. It just kind of wasn't his thing, which I can understand. Okay, this one, Lucelli is a experienced novelist. She has 2 pretty well-known books out, novels. She's actually Mexican, but she lives in New York now. The first one is called Faces in a Crowd, and another one that I've read called Story of My Teeth, and it really is a story of a pair of Marilyn Monroe's actual teeth, or anyway, a pair of fake teeth that kind of make the rounds, and it's really a funny, interesting story. Anyway, this book is written, works about her volunteer work with translating for child immigrants, and deals more with the immigrant crisis. Okay, and last we have, I like this one, Bunk, The Rise of Hoaxes, Humbugs, Plagiarists, Phonies, Post-Facts, and Fake News. Is that timely or what? It's by Kevin Young. He has 6 books of poetry out, and he actually was on the long list of the National Book Award in the nonfiction category for this book itself. This actually goes through the hoax history of many of the hoaxes, and through history, and why Americans are so gullible about some of them. It starts out with the Barnum Bailey and his freak shows with 200-year-old people and things like that people fought to get in to see. And it goes through the different ones. There's been some fake writings, some papers somebody found on that attributed to Hitler, which turned out to be a fake, and other things. One of the ones mentioned was Lance Armstrong in the doping scandal, and he ends up with talking about hoaxes and bunk. Our president. I won't go any further. You can imagine what that's all about. Okay, so these are the 5 nominees for the Best Criticism Award. Criticism always sounds like it's negative, but as we in the literary world know, it's not. It's just discussion and analysis of a situation. So let me know if you read any of these or hope to, or I'll be back sooner or later. I'm also reading for the Booker Awards, the 50 years list that's just been put out. So I'll be back soon talking about those. Okay, bye.